if I start with 3 pounds of clay, I usually end up with about the same size. I don't know if it will be exactly.
Right, okay, okay.
And that's still pretty thick, but I'm gonna open. Now it's too wide for me to open with my thumbs, like I can't comfortably get any pressure there, so I'm gonna open a different way. I'm gonna put my middle fingers one over the other, bend my fingertips and push down in the center, and then pull towards me. And my pinky fingers, oh, that was, I pushed a little too hard with my pinky fingers. My pinky fingers were pushing down to work the clay back into the mass of clay around it. As that ridge rises up, I'm going to press down on it so it doesn't come unstuck when I get to the outer edge there.
How wide did you make them? Is that going to be the size of your pot right now?
The interior bottom, when I'm done with the opening, that will be the width that the whole top is going to
And
be.
you want that to be how big?
I don't have a measurement for it. I'm just kind of eyeing it up, but we can measure it if you want. There's a ruler in that basket,
Here, I got a room.
or one right there.
Is that big enough? It's only a foot ruler.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be more than a foot. So the interior measurement here is about 7 1/4.
7 1/4?
Yeah. And I'm leaving a little more clay on the bottom than I would if I were making like a mug or a sugar jar.
So if you poke that, would that be about?
I'll grab your needle tool here.
Okay, just look
No, that's
down.
quite right. So it's not quite a half an inch.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, so before I start pulling up, just in case, before I start pulling up, I'm gonna compress first with my sponge, and then I like this rib for compressing the interior bottom, but this one is basically the same shape. It just leaves more of a rustic texture, and that one leaves a smoother texture. But what I want is this short little flat section of rib. And I'm just doing it now because it's easier to get to the bottom. Now just remove the lines that I made. It's easier to reach the whole bottom before I pull the wall up, and I'm not risking that I'm going to thump the wall and knock it off round. All right, so now we're going to pull up, but it's going to have a slight curve to it. That's partly aesthetic and partly because a curved wall, for some engineering reason that for the life of me I could not explain, a curved wall is less likely to oval than a straight wall.
You mean more oval?
Morph into an oval, yeah.
Well, isn't it stronger?
It
Kinda
is
like an
stronger, but I
arch,
don't
you
know why.
Arches, that the ancients used to build all the things with arches, and they say it's like the strongest.
Now the
shape.
arches, that's different. They're so strong because basically what's holding them up is gravity. But this, what I mean is like if these walls were straight up and down, this pot would be far more likely to warp into an oval in the kiln than if it has kind of a curve to the wall.
Plus the curve is nice.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want that to be much thinner. So this pull is mostly to establish the curve and not so much to move clay. So we're just remove any water from the inside. Bevel this bottom edge. And then the next step, now that I've beveled a little bit of clay off the bottom there, the next step is how I'm going to establish, remember I said there's going to be a little lip down there and catch any glaze strips. If I hold the right angle corner of my wooden rib and push in just maybe 1/4 of an inch above the back, now I've got that little foot. compressing the rim. All right, now I'm just gonna remove the slurry with the straight side of my flexible metal rib. All right.
I did this in like 5 minutes, that would have taken me 6 hours.
At least half an hour.
Yeah, more than that.
And then we're gonna use the calipers and measure the inner.
So it really doesn't matter what size it is until you make it and then it's gonna lift. You measure most of it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Unless you're trying to match a pot that you
Right,
made
yeah.
earlier, or you promised somebody something that would be an exact
Yeah.
You can make it
capacity.
any size.
Right there?
You can make it any size you want.
Yes,
And are you gonna put handles on it?
I am.
Oh.
All right, so if you think about it like,
sugar roll.
yeah, you could
Same
think,
thing,
yeah,
yeah.
it wouldn't have to be enormous. It could
Yeah.
be, yeah.
Yeah, just, yeah,
So I'm gonna use, to get the bat off, my flexible metal rib, kind of use that as a lever to break the suction. And then I'm gonna take the bat pins away, because I can throw the lid right on the wheel head.